Welcome to the Herbert Dennard Show. Today we have a candidate for Sheriff for Bibb County, Bill Lucas. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell me, why are you running for sheriff?
Well, Herbert, there are many different reasons why I'm running for sheriff. But let me kind of tell you about one part about Macon. Macon is a great town with great people. We have 3 major colleges in this town. We have a #1 trauma center and a hospital in the United States. We have some of the best water there is in the United States. We have a great town where industries should want to come here. But for this last census, we went down in numbers. We went down in numbers because of one common denominator. That's crime. And when an 85-year-old woman tells me that she's laying down on the floor because of people shooting, that concerns me. And also, when you hear about the drugs that we have still in our school or surrounding our schools, those things concern me. So those are some of the reasons why I'm still in this race.
Okay, tell us your background. I know you are Javis Lucas' son.
That is correct.
You are son to Miriam Paris, big brother.
Yes, that is also correct.
And you are Aisha Thornton, big brother.
That is also correct.
Aisha Thornton worked for years at the tax assessor's office, and now she works at the county. And Miriam is surprisingly, she surprised me anyway, state senator.
Well, she has a lot of good stuff in her, and I'm glad people believe in her.
And but tell us about you.
Well, Herbert, I've been in law enforcement for over 35 years. 34 of them I spent with the Georgia Department of Corrections. I started at the bottom of the rank, and I worked my way all the way to the top. So it gave me an opportunity to learn everything that there is about law enforcement. I did criminal investigations for the agency. I've worked with the federal courts as an investigator. I've done a lot of different things in my career, but let me kind of key on some of them. One, I handled, along with others in the state, a $900 billion budget, whereas the Sheriff Department has a budget less than $100 million. I handled 50,000 inmates, whereas at the Bibb County Sheriff Department they only have about 900. I handled various things throughout the department that gave us more than enough. The logistics of what we had to do. We had the entire state of Georgia that we had to keep up with, that I had to keep up with, and ensuring that they did things correctly. I consult all over the world and all over the United States, in prisons and also in jail. So I've done a lot of things, even working alongside of the Secret Service to secure one of the vice presidents in the United States when I was out in Texas.
Okay, so what is your kind of educational background you have?
Educational, well, I was educated here in Bibb County. Graduated from Dudley Hughes, which is just right up the street. And I went to Fort Valley State before Uncle Sam decided that I needed to do something else.
Mm-hmm. And you was in the Army, Air Force, Marines?
Originally went into the Air Force, and then left the Air Force and went into the Army. That's kind of backwards, but that's the way it went.
Most people go in the Air Force, they don't want to get out of the Army.
That's very, very true. But law enforcement has been part of my life. I was an MP in the Army, so it kind of gave me that launch that I wanted to do in getting into law enforcement.
Okay. And going back a little further, tell us about your grandmother.
Grandmother. Well, grandmother, her name was Emma S. Lucas. She was a civil rights activist here in Macon.
I remember her.
Oh, she was truly someone to...
Yeah, she used to work beside Bill Randall, Angie Malone, E.S. Evans, all the hosts, when everything was going on. Your grandmother was right in the middle.
She was in the middle.
A very strong person.
She was in the middle, and she took us along with her. And that's part of grandmother and dad pushing us out there to care about the community more than we care about ourselves. It has to be about other people rather than about us. So grandmother taught us, along with dad, to love this community, but be willing to fight for it. And right now we have to fight for it because crime is, when you're ranked in the top 10 in the nation as far as a dangerous citizen, and there has to be something done different. And it can't be done by, continuously done by the same individuals with the same methods. It needs new ideas and new blood in order to push us forward and guide the Sheriff Department to being the best that there is in this country.
As a church member, I'm a member of the New Pleasant Grove Baptist Church. We've had church vans broken into, stolen in the baptistry. We had air conditioners stolen and broken into. And my understanding, this is going on all over the city. Churches are being burglarized.
That is correct.
And losing a lot. Churches trying to build a place that people can go and worship. And a lot of thieves are breaking in there. A lot of persons' houses are broken into, and a lot of empty houses that the people are trying to fix up. People are stealing the copper out of them. What do you propose to do about some of these crime problems that we have in the city, in the county?
Well, there are multiple things that I have that I want to do, that I will do when I become sheriff. But let's talk about those crimes. And one of the things I said when I first initiated to run for sheriff is that I'm going to deputize all of the policemen who are in the city so that they can have a larger jurisdiction to go out to help. See, it is my opinion that when you ask for help, you don't care what name is on the side of that car when it shows up quickly. And also that the county can work more inside the city. I won't separate the two. Well, that gives you a stronger force when you're working together so that you can be out looking for those individuals breaking in. There is a theory called a broken window theory that I brought out 4 years ago before my opponent started jumping on the bandwagon and saying the same thing. It talks about small crimes. As you go ahead and you start attacking small crimes, and that keeps big crimes from happening in your community. We want law enforcement moving in all areas of the town, checking the churches, getting a better relationship with the neighborhood. Neighborhood policing is something I believe in strongly. That we have to know the people in the neighborhood. If an incident does occur, they're willing to say something to us versus trying to beat the bushes to see if that that CSI stuff is working. No, it's about people believing in you that reduces crime, but also taking care of all the small crimes first. And copper and the other things that you talked about, there are alarm systems that you can put on some things and making sure the officers respond quicker. But we're going to also deal with people. I'm strong on people.